A dozen Democrats crossed the aisle Thursday to help pass a ban on gender reassignment surgery for minors. Peterborough progressive Joda Wheeler saying he doesn't see the benefit in allowing kids under 18 to undergo this kind of life-altering procedure.
I will fight until my very last day, until they are recognized as human beings. The question before us is whether or not children under the age of 18 should be able to get these surgeries. And I, despite being a liberal who believes in those human rights, do not think that is the case.
Opponents of the bill, including Jerry Cannon, one of the state's first openly transgender lawmakers, say this ban could cause harm.
It's not right for New Hampshire. It's not right for the transgender community. And I hope that our young people don't take this message badly, because I'm concerned about the health of many young transgender people.
Backers of the bill say they commiserate with trans youth and their families.
It's hard. Nobody denies that. But being told something is safe and effective when there's no data and they're just trying to figure out how it works on you is not compassionate. It's not kind.
The bill now heads to the state Senate. LGBTQ rights activists call this a dark day at the New Hampshire State House. They're hoping this bill can be stopped, if necessary, by the governor's veto pen.
I'm optimistic that Governor Sununu will follow in the footsteps of Ohio Governor Mike DeWine and veto legislation that's harmful to transgender people in New Hampshire.
In Concord, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about a unicorn here, a truly rare sighting in the Democrat Party, which is a Democrat with a soul, right? A Democrat with some sense of morals and values, who have not sold out to the woke mob when it comes to this issue of minors, kids getting sex change operations, okay? As this guy, liberal Democrat rep from New Hampshire by the name of Jonah Wheeler, decided to vote to ban allowing kids to surgically transition, okay, which again is a rare sighting in the Democrat Party, because most of the party, again, has sold their soul. They know that this is not right, okay? They don't really agree with it personally, but they're going along with it for votes, right? They want them votes, so they all come out in support of something that they know is wrong, okay? They know it's morally wrong. They vote in lockstep to protect the fake rights of trans people, aka the privileges that trans people want that nobody else in society gets, because again, they don't want to upset the mob, right? And upsetting the mob may mean that they lose elections, right? So again, you have one Democrat that decided that, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to stand up for what's right. And he decided to vote to ban surgeries, sex change operations for minors. And I want to react to his speech in defense of his vote, because I think that this is something that I would love to see more from Democrats, right? Stand up for what is right. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for that reminder. I rise today despite the uncomfortability of this vote, because for me, it comes down to whether or not kids should be able to get these surgeries. And despite the fact that I am a liberal, despite the fact that I believe in non-discrimination for trans people, for gay people, for queer people, and that I will fight until my very last day, until they are recognized as human beings.
So again, clearly what you see here is that this guy has a few woke bones in his body, okay? So he's not completely not woke, right? Which, by the way, I just want to say that he has come out in support of RFK, which is also interesting that he's not really supporting Biden, right? He's supporting RFK. But anyways, he has some woke bones in his body. But even a Democrat with a few woke bones can see that, hey, you know, I think this is a little bit too far, right? This is too extreme even for me, okay? Because I would argue that there are no rights that trans people don't have that everybody else has, right? Trans people have the same rights as everybody else, okay? But what they're fighting for is not more rights, okay? They're fighting for privileges, okay? This is what they want. They want the privilege to be able to influence kids to get sex change operations. That's not a right. That is a privilege, and that is a privilege that should be banned across the country, right? At a national level, right? That is one national level ban that Republicans should definitely get on board with, for sure.
The question before us is whether or not children under the age of 18 should be able to get these surgeries. And I, despite being a liberal who believes in those human rights, do not think that is the case. And when the question is put before me, and I spoke to people until 11:30 last night, lobbyists, different stakeholders, people with firsthand experience, lived experience, and I've been speaking to people for the last 4 weeks about this bill, the only argument against it being that this opens the amendment specifically opens the door to other bad trans bills. But folks, the slippery slope fallacy I don't think applies here. We're talking about whether or not kids should get these surgeries, and they should not. These are irreversible surgeries.
Yeah, so the only slippery slope here is allowing trans surgeries and then turn around and allowing more things, right? Pushing the agenda even further, right? That's the real slippery slope. But you know what I was thinking about, guys, listening to this guy talk? I was like, it's a damn shame that a guy that clearly is an intelligent person, I mean, just listen to him talk. He's an intelligent guy, right? And I'm just like, it's a damn shame that he's not a Republican, right? That this guy is not conservative, okay? It's a damn shame that he is not on the right side of the aisle, that this man is a Democrat, right? Because he's extremely articulate, okay? He conveys his ideas very well. He seems to have some common sense. He has a sense of morality. Why are you liberal, my guy? Right? Why are you liberal? Okay? You're supporting RFK, so clearly, you're not on board with the super far left agenda, even though, again, I have some questions about RFK, but still, why are you liberal? Right? It's a damn shame, because I think Republicans could use more articulate, smart young men like this guy in the party, right? Obviously, his viewpoints needs to be more conservative, okay? But I'm just saying, just from, an intelligent standpoint, the way that he speaks, the way that he talks, the way he conveys his ideas, would be an asset if he was actually a Republican, right? I'm just saying.
And despite the fact that there are medical exceptions which are included in this amendment, when people have problems with their genitals that need to be addressed, that should be addressed. But when we're talking about whether or not kids should get these surgeries, I think that goes a bridge too far, and I will not be signing on to that. So I will be supporting this amendment, and I appreciate the work done in the Health and Human Services Committee. They worked very diligently, and if you want to watch legislating being done in real time in a really good way, I would recommend that you watch the committee hearings on this bill, the work session on this legislation, because they diligently took all people into account, they took all experiences into account, and they came up with a legislation that protects children under the age of 18. This is not a question of whether or not you're with the trans community. This is a question on whether or not you believe children should be able to get these irreversible surgeries. So again, despite being a Democrat, despite being a liberal who believes in human rights, I don't think that children should be able to get these irreversible surgeries. So I'll take all the heat that comes from this. I will be voting for this amendment and for OTPA if it passes. The bill in its original form, I think, is too broad, and I won't be voting for OTP, but I will be voting for OTPA if the bill passes and for the amendment if it passes. And I hope all of you on this side of the aisle who definitely believe in human rights, who believe in protecting non-discrimination, would consider the irreversible surgeries that kids are going to be getting if this bill does not pass. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I urge you to join me in supporting this amendment.
Yeah, so with that being said, right, he may call himself a liberal, okay? He may be a Democrat, but the woke revolutionaries are going to say that he's a far-right extremist, okay? He's a transphobe, he hates trans people, and that he's a staunch conservative, right? This is how they're going to frame the guy, right? This is what they're going to do, okay? Imagine the backlash this man is going to get. All the Democrats, right, okay? I think it was like 11 of them that voted in support of the right thing, which is to ban these surgeries for children. they're all going to be, called conservative and far right and, extremists or whatever, right? When, again, the real extremists are the woke activists, okay? And, again, it is a breath of fresh air to see a Democrat actually have the cojones to stand up for what is right, okay, to stand on morality, to push back against the mob, because it is a rare sighting. It's like I tell you guys, if you look in Congress, there are no Democrats in Congress that don't agree with everything that the far left extremists want, especially when it comes to this issue of trans rights, okay? They agree with all of it, okay? Every single Democrat. You'd be hard-pressed to find one that is against it, right? And if they are against it, they're not going to be too loud about the fact that they're against it, okay? They're going to be silent, okay? They're going to be real quiet. It's going to be hush-hush, okay? So, again, when you see a Democrat stand up for what's right, I think it's important to give credit where credit is due. Again, this is the bare minimum for a Democrat, right? This is the bare minimum. Let's not go too far with it. But regardless, again, you don't see too much of this. And, again, kudos to the Democrats that voted to ban sex change operations for children. I know that it's a tough thing to do when, you're in a party where if you don't agree with the extremists 100%, they essentially try to cancel you within the party. But, who knows? If the Republican governor of New Hampshire will actually, go along with this bill, okay? He may veto it because he is probably one of these woke-ish liberal Republicans, okay? I mean, he's supporting Nikki Haley, okay? You had the Republican governor of Ohio that recently came out and vetoed the ban on trans surgeries. So who knows, right? I mean, it really is a shame that we're even asking a question about whether or not a Republican will go along with this. But I'm just saying, at least as of right now, kudos to the Democrats that did go along with common sense, morality, and pushing back against the far left woke agenda. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.